Hello everyone, it's Refresh, and I'm here to take a look at Arcane Tinmen's Oversize board game sleeves. These sleeves are clear, and according to the package, that it is for cards measuring up to 79 by 120 millimeters. Now, this may be alarming for some of you because a lot of card sleeves of this size state that they are for cards measuring up to 80 by 120 millimeters, so I want to make sure that these aren't going to be too small for the intended cards. Now if you read on the back here, it says that these are 100 sleeves for cards measuring up to 79 by 120 millimeters. This size is mainly used in Dixit, but are also found in some other games like Beastie Bar and Mysterium. So I have a Dixit card sleeve here, and we're going to measure it to make sure that these sleeves will fit. They say that they're designed for cards of this size, but we want to make sure that they actually are, or at least that the advertising is correct. According to my tape measure, this is 79 millimeters across and 120 millimeters tall. So despite the consensus that Dixit cards are 80 by 120 millimeters, they actually end up being 79 by 120 millimeters. So you don't have to worry that these are going to be too small for your Dixit card. And if you look on the back, this packaging actually gives you a nice frame to measure your card against to make sure that it fits. And according to this, it does. Now, how much does a pack of these sleeves cost? Well, the MSRP is $7.99 for 100 sleeves, and that averages out to about 8 cents per sleeve. Now, 8 cents per sleeve is a little bit on the more expensive side for sleeves of this type, but it's not the most expensive. Hopefully this will be a premium product that will be able to justify its more expensive price. Now let's take a look at what we have inside. As you can see, the sleeves are smooth and glossy on both sides. Let's count to make sure that there are 100 here. That is exactly 100. Everything that's supposed to be here is. Now let's measure the thickness. These sleeves are 1.6 millimeters thick, which is 160 microns per sleeve, or 80 microns each face. Now to measure the dimensions, these sleeves are 82 millimeters wide by 124 millimeters tall. Now let's see how it fits. I have a Dixit card here. I will slip it in. Fits pretty well. There is a little bit of play on the edges, and there is a notable amount of space between the opening of the sleeve and the top edge of the card, but it's not too great that it's floppy or anything like that. And it's short enough that you can see the top edge of the card and it doesn't seal closed at all. Now it's time for the sleeving test. I'm going to sleeve these 45 Dixit cards in 45 of these sleeves and see how long it takes. Ready, set, go. Okay, it took 2 minutes and 28 seconds to sleeve these cards, and that is an average speed of 3.29 seconds per card sleeve, which is not too bad. I think that overall I didn't really have much problems with sleeving these cards. Some of the sleeves themselves are a little stuck together, both on the inside and outside, but that was just fine. Now let's check for uniformity and consistency within the pack. These sleeves are perfectly uniform on the top, and on the sides they appear to be uniform as well. So the consistency within the pack is pretty good. Overall, I didn't find any defects within any of the sleeves fresh out of the pack, so I feel like the product is pretty good out of the pack. Now it's time for the shuffle test. I'm going to shuffle these sleeved cards 100 times and see how long it takes. Ready, set, go. Okay, it took 3 minutes and 37 seconds, which is a slow speed of 2.17 seconds per shuffle, but part of that is just because these cards are enormous, and as a result of just the sheer size of the card, it's difficult to grip it and then put the sleeves into each other to mass shuffle. On top of that, because of the sheer size of the sleeves, there's a lot more surface area rubbing against each other as you push the half of the deck into each other, and so that does also make the shuffling a bit harder. Aside from the issues with just the pure size of the card sleeve, there was a bit of resistance as I pushed the sleeves into each other. As you can see, it does take a little bit of force for you to push the two halves of the deck together, and so it's not a perfect card sleeve in terms of resistance, and the shuffle feel isn't amazing, but it is sufficient. You probably aren't going to be shuffling these 100 times all in a row, so it's not the worst, but at the same time, if you're looking for a really smooth shuffle, these are not going to give that to you. Now that we have handled the cards a bit, let's take a look at their condition. Alright, it doesn't look like the sleeves took any wear. These corners are not particularly bent, nor are there any splits in any of the sleeves that I can tell. So these sleeves look like they have a pretty solid durability overall. I don't really notice any scuffing either. I did notice that looking at the sleeves, there is a bit of mild warping on the one of the sides of the sleeves, and I don't know if that came from the shuffling process or it came from the actual sleeves themselves when they came out of the pack. Now it's time for the shake test. I've put these sleeve Dixit cards in a deck, and I'm going to shake the table they're on for about 2 seconds to see if they fall down. Ready, set, go. Nope. This deck started to slide just a little, but it doesn't look like they're going to fall anytime soon, and part of that is just due to the sheer size and weight of these cards. So I'm not afraid that these sleeved cards will fail to be able to stand together in a deck. Now for the draw test, I'll draw 3 cards off the top and see if the deck holds together. No problem. In fact, the sleeves hardly even slide at all as I'm taking cards off the top of the deck, and so I feel like this is actually a pretty good sleeve in terms of its deck worthiness overall. And again, this may be in part due to the just sheer size of the sleeves, but I'm pretty impressed with how the sleeves handle in a deck. So what do I think of Arcane Tinmen's oversized board game sleeves? Well, I think they're pretty good. I don't really have much in the way of complaints in terms of their quality. They're pretty good fresh out of the pack in terms of their consistency, and their quality overall, even when you're handling them, it stays pretty good. So I feel like the durability is pretty good as well. The sleeves don't have much of a problem taking in the cards themselves, and I think the only real issue is that they didn't really do much to enhance the shuffling process, because mass shuffling for these large cards is already quite difficult just due to their size and how you have to hold the cards in order to mass shuffle them. Overall, I think that these sleeves are decent. They will provide your cards good protection, and they themselves are pretty durable, so you should be able to handle them for a while. So if you're looking for glossy sleeves, these are definitely an option for you. I didn't really find much in the way of defects aside from a little bit of weird warping along one of the sides for some of the sleeves, and even that is a very subtle detail, and I don't think most of you will have issues with that. So that's what I feel about the Arcane Tinmen oversized board game sleeves. If you thought this video was helpful, hit like for me. If you'd like to see more such videos, hit subscribe. I have links in the description box below if you have experience with these sleeves or any other 79/80mm by 120mm sleeves. You can share your experience with their durability and their consistency out of the pack from pack to pack, and those results will be available at the Init Games' resource page. But thanks to all of you for watching. This was Refresh, and I will see you next time.